So, a friend of mine just forwarded me an email, and this is the third one I've gotten in a row, telling me that someone who forcibly unsubscribed me, then blocked me, has made a video about me. But this third one doesn't really talk about me at all, but it talks about a subject which I've spent a lot of time about on my channel, which is abortion and Planned Parenthood and other organizations that are fighting over the abortion issue. And I don't know that this third video in a row is about me, because it seems to be more on the issue. So I'm just gonna respond to the issue because somebody wants me to. Okay, so there's a story that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's about some people who called up Planned Parenthood organizations. They weren't going to give them money, but they were offering Planned Parenthood money, and then saying, okay, but after we give you this money, can we earmark it for just African American babies? And the person taking the donations didn't have a problem with it. And then they said the purpose behind them earmarking it for just African American babies is that they wanted less African American babies. All right. And the person taking the donations did not chastise them for being racist. She just basically said, understandable. And link in my description box, because I do homework like this a lot. The link will be to a transcript from the O'Reilly Factor, where they talked about it and they had the transcript. And they don't know who made the calls. They think that it was a UCLA pro-life group that was making calls all across the country to different Planned Parenthood clinics to basically set up this sting of, are they racist? So yeah, there's a link in my description box all about that. And what I have to say about that is, it's kind of strange that I'm bringing up in a Ponage video yesterday, my entry to the Ponage Olympics. I bring up a 40 Days for Life little local campaign, which are they're poisoning the well. They're trying to associate Planned Parenthood with all sorts of things that they're not, like Muslims, terrorists, Hitler followers, gays, and now this group is trying to paint them as racists. Anything that can be seen by negative by the majority, people will throw at Planned Parenthood. And it doesn't really speak to the issue of whether or not the abortions are wrong if the people at Planned Parenthood even were racists. Because, there are racists who do good things in their life too. There are people who might go to a racist KKK rally or something, but they're upstanding members of their community in other areas. So if someone is a racist, it doesn't mean that something else they're doing is bad. It does look very bad about their own personal character, but not any other organization that they might be a part of. You have to actually deal with the issue of abortion. And I'd go so far as to say that every church in America has some racists in it. That doesn't make the church racist. It just makes the individual people racist. Now, on the other hand, if we're going to talk about racism, I have 2 examples that I have really great citations for because they're YouTube videos here on YouTube. And one of them is from me. One of my road signs of religious stupidity is about a sign where it's in a predominantly white neighborhood that I was living in Louisiana, and they put up a sign saying that 3 out of 5 black babies are aborted. And there's no reason for that neighborhood to be pounded with that message other than to play upon their already existing hatred of black people, because there are no black people in that neighborhood. I can attest to that personally. I was there with my video recorder videotaping personally this sign that was put up by an organization that was pro-life. Also, I will point you guys to a recent video by a very large YouTuber, Sxephil, Phil DeFranco, and in that video he shows a giant building-length billboard that says, "The most dangerous place for an African-American child is in the womb." And it's like, wow. You know, I can't believe that people even let them get that billboard halfway up without, you know, pelting them with rocks for being racists. But it got up, so 2 videos as proof of racism on the pro-life side rather than the pro-choice side. But as far as finding racism on the pro-choice side, I will say that without muddying people's personal feelings onto the organizations they're helping, I could point people out to being able to make the argument on a larger scale in America that being pro-abortion in some places is linked to racism in a way that is despicable. You can easily correlate abortion with poverty, you know, and you can easily correlate poverty with minorities, especially the black community here in America. So it's not that much of a stretch. Oh, my phone went off. It's not that much of a stretch to, with science, social science, say that people who are pro-choice are pro-social initiatives that would kill more black babies than they would white, because it is very obvious that poverty is correlated with abortion, and poverty is also correlated with minorities. And because I'm actually responding to somebody who said, I'm not going to put citations or anything, you can Google it yourself, and I did his homework, he can do mine. And I hate doing that to my own viewing audience, but the information's out there. I've also had feelings that are completely uncorroborated, where I see Democrats and Republicans both having to name what church they're a part of in order to get elected. You can't be elected in America as an atheist, but just about every politician lists what church they're from. So, I would say that most of the pro-life organizations that I've seen are not secular, they're religious-based. But for some reason, half the politicians in America, who all have to list what church they're part of, they list, you know, this religious organization they're part of, but they're pro-choice. Now, in the South, where I just moved away from, there's this, going back for about 150 years, there's this this trend that I see, and again, completely uncorroborated, but hear me out here. If these Democrats who are in the South are in favor of abortion, but they still list a church. What is the reason that they are in favor of abortion? And perhaps they actually had access to all this information from the social sciences that says that poverty is linked to black people, and abortion is linked to poverty. And it might be that a bunch of politicians from the South who have other reasons for being pro-life became pro-choice just to enact some sort of racial genocide. No one's making this argument for T-Master because it would take a lot of thought. You'd really have to do some research on the political platforms of Southern Democrats to really examine this thoroughly. But again, not going to do my homework. Just a feeling I had. How do you guys feel about it?